your business name properly?
Yeah, it's difficult in English. It's Elevages Lisard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was kind of what I
It's
was
Élevage
French
picturing
name.
in my
Lisard
head.
or Lisard?
Well, kind of French like Lisard
Okay.
Lisa.
because
Okay.
it's a mix of lézard in French is lizard and my name Lisabeth. So it's
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
got it. I
that's
got
a
it.
that's I didn't that didn't click, but actually, yeah, no, that's pretty smart there.
Wait, Mike, can you say her last name? I want to hear you say that one.
Uh,
good luck.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
I've
Villeneuve.
I've heard Jacques' name
yeah,
said a
exactly.
lot,
Yeah,
so
Exactly.
so I was safe on that one, kind of.
So, everybody, this week is going to be a little bit different. The podcast is going to be entirely done in French just for Mike, right?
Oh,
Crickets. Oh, we lost her.
oh shit,
Guys,
that's
it
fun.
will not be in it will not be in French, but we did just lose her, and
all
she
good.
is coming
I
back.
left. I'm back. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
you're
was kicked
back.
out.
Worst case, we can maybe shut off your camera if it happens again, and that might help it. But yeah, no, we got the YouTube recording, so it should be all good. But yeah,
Your
so how are
video
you
is pretty
doing?
good. So,
How's it
sorry,
going,
go
Dominic? Anything new with you this week?
ahead. Life is good. I got another clutch. I got a clutch of pygmies, which is really weird because every single year I have my pygmy pythons at the exact same time every year for the past 4 years in a row. And this year I got a clutch when you get your notifications on Facebook. I had notifications of pygmy pythons hatching when I got eggs this year, which means they literally are about 2 months later than usual, which is super weird. But I did, and I decided to try the stupidest thing, the one thing that I told myself I would never ever do. I did not steal the eggs from mom, and I decided to leave mom on the eggs. I honestly don't know why I'm doing it. I get that everybody else does it. And here's my reasoning why that I don't really like doing the whole maternal incubation. I don't know how many times I've pulled off a female off of eggs, and then you run your hand down her belly, you check for everything, and then you feel a lump, and then you start playing with her, and then you push a slug or you push another egg that just didn't pop out, right? So right now I've got a female on eggs, and I swear to God, all that I'm thinking is maybe I'll just take mom off the eggs, see if she's got any eggs in her, maybe one or two left, pop them out, then put her back on the eggs. But I feel like that would be really stressful and probably not a really good idea. But on the flip side of that, what if she does have an egg left in her and I leave her there for the next 60 days and now she's got an egg stuck in her for 60 days? How well is that going to come out later? So I don't know if I have any. It's funny because a lot of people say the pros and the cons of maternal incubation. This is a big con for me because I've had to pop out one egg or two eggs out of pygmy pythons before. Like they laid, they're all coiled up, like they're done. You feel her, and then she's got an egg, and I just gently pop it out, and then that egg hatches. But my point is, right now, that's all I've been wondering. So it has been, I don't know, 3 or 4 days that I've had eggs out of the incubator. I never thought uh, incubating eggs would be stressful, seeing that I've done it forever, but for the first time ever now, I am stressing out because I don't know. I swear they're going to die. I don't think it's going to go well, but I'm trying it. Except for that, I don't know. I don't think there's that much new. Just the fact that I'm trying maternal incubation, and possibly next week I'll tell you guys that I panicked and put him in the incubator. Um, yeah, that's my update. What about you, Mike? Anything new?
So the Kentucky female laid. She had that one like really premature egg, and then she gave me 6 good ones. But I think she has another good one left in her still. So I'll probably have to palpate that out. I gave her a meal and she ate it, and she hasn't like regurged it. So I'm hoping that might push it out without having to mess with her and get bit by a 6 foot pine snake. But yeah, if not, I'll have to maybe ask Tyrone to come by and give me a hand doing that.
I can give you a
But
suggestion as to how to do it on your own if you want.
oh yeah, well we can, yeah, if you have a
That's up to you.
suggestion. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to totally cut you off and I'm going to give you the suggestion, then you can continue. So it's the same way that I probe big snakes on my own, even if they're aggressive. take a pillowcase, stick the front half in their body, roll the pillowcase opening where like in the middle of the body, like just roll it, and then put the head and the body of the snake that's like, you know what I mean? Like that's in the pillowcase, just between your legs and just hold it without squeezing. So you've just got a big tail hanging out. The bitey part is stuck in a pillowcase, can't go anywhere. You've got your 2 hands on the tail and you can just gently massage it out. Or that's how I probe aggressive snakes on my own. So just a thought. Anyway,
Okay.
keep going with your update.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's kind of happening. So, like, she looks healthy. She ate. She hasn't, like, regurged. So I'm kind of hoping that might work its way through. I don't really want to mess with her too much with a rat inside of her. But yeah, I'll probably give that a try. And then, the Bahama female had her post ovulation shed, I hope. So maybe in about 4, I listened to Bobby Pebbles, and he said you need to like watch for the going into the shed, and he said his Puerto Ricans were still locked up. So I threw the same day that I was messaging him, and he says, "Yeah, mine are going later this year too." So I threw them back in. They locked up for that for like a whole day, and then 2 days later they separated, and she's in shed, and now she finally shed. So I'm hoping that was like the sign I've been waiting for, maybe, because that would be really cool to get Bahama boas. So yeah, now it's a waiting game of 5 to 6 months, I think,
Oh,
until
really? It's
possibly
that
get like
long
20
until
to
then?
30 babies. So yeah, they have like 180-day gestation
So
kind of
how do you
thing.
know that's the post-ovulation shed? Did you see her like ovulate and that's what you're guessing? Or is that
She's
the only
pretty
shed?
thick. Like she did take a meal, which was kind of weird, but then she's like thicker in different spots, kind of thing, right? Like she has that like more than just a food bolus kind of look to her, which I've seen before because she is probably a bit of a chunky snake kind of thing because she hasn't really bred too much. But I guess we'll see. Because it's just what Rob kind of said, and around this time period, if it's gonna happen, that was probably it.
Does she eat when at this time?
I haven't tried because I fed her 2 or 3, like 2 weeks ago, maybe. So I was gonna wait maybe another week until I try offering her. She has a pretty good body tone, so I'm not really worried about like feeding her up
No, I'm
before the
more talking
babies.
about
But
it. Is that like an indication of her being gravid?
yeah,
You know what I
because
mean? The non
Rob
feeding.
said like although the last time when she had was full of slugs, she ate like the whole time until like up until she was shipped to me. For the last month, she stopped eating, but before that, with Ty, she was eating probably every 2 or 3 weeks kind of thing, even with being
Did
technically gravid. So maybe she's just a different animal and doesn't care. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I haven't. I guess I'll see next weekend. Maybe I'll offer her a small rat and see if she takes it.
Fair enough. Did you listen to the Boa Symposium 2 with Warren Booth and
Uh, yes.
Ed Ruth? Okay. So something I had never heard before, which I thought was really cool, was temp gunning the temperature of the belly of the boa. Did you hear him talk
Hmm.
about that?
No,
No.
I don't
So he
recall
was
that part of it.
so it just came out, and he was talking about how when you've got a female boa that's gravid for, like, I'm guessing it's probably a few months in. I don't know. He didn't really go into that details. That if you temp gun their belly, if they have slugs, they tend to be like 82 to 85 or 82, 83. And if they have good live babies in there, they tend to be like 87, 88. So I just thought it was really cool observation and something that you could take a look at it. But if I don't know what it's called, I think it's the Boa Symposium 2, and they talk
Yeah,
about it in there.
yeah. It was cool to hear them talk about the different things they were talking about for sure.
But I've
I
never
was
heard
doing
anybody
stuff.
talk about that.
Yeah. No, it was a good one. It's always good to hear Dr. Booth kind of talk about boas and stuff. So yeah, no, that was a fantastic podcast. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. He'd be good to bring
Uh,
back. I'd like to have Booth back
oh
on.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
Warren's
I know
Warren's great. We
you
haven't really,
probably
we
want
didn't
to
even
talk to him
really talk.
about. Yeah, you probably want to talk to him about boas. I just want to talk to
Yeah,
him more about genetics.
yeah. Right, he's the guy for that too, right? Same with him. Was there another genetic guy? Oh yeah, well Ben Morrill, who used to work with Dr. Julander. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else. Still waiting on the black milk and the Oh, I did get a prelay from one of the sublocks. I'm kind of waiting for the other sublock to maybe have a prelay. She's in shed. Last year they went like exact same, like they both laid on the same day because I was literally had them together, and I did the same this year, but this time only one had a prelay, so we'll see there. But yeah, no, everything's going good. It's nice and sunny here. It's been raining here for like 2 weeks. Well, maybe more than that. Like on and off,
Same
like
here.
which is a lot for southern Alberta. So definitely good for finding amphibians, that's for sure. But yeah,
Nice.
and I guess I'll before we get to Lisabeth, I think I'll hit our sponsor, Cornell's World. Cornell's World is one of North America's leaders in reptile caging, and they can ship to anywhere in North America, Canada, and the US. And Greg West at Cornell's World can build you pretty much anything from custom PVC cages to custom glass terrariums. They also carry spider robotics, so you can get your herp stats, heat panels, heat tape, and as well as all the big reptile brands from Arcadia to Zoomed to Exoterra. So yeah, go check out cornellsworld.com and place your order today. Also, check out the Western Canadian Reptile Expo if you're in Alberta. Go visit wcre.ca to see the upcoming events and to pre-purchase tickets. Check out vendor stuff, see what vendors are coming, what deals are having, VIP hour tickets, all that fun stuff. Next show is in 2 weeks in Medicine Hat, so hopefully see you guys there if you can make it out. And yeah, and then the big one is in August. I believe the third weekend of August is always the same weekend as Daytona. So if you know that date, it'd be the same weekend as that. Be a fun time. It's the biggest reptile expo in Western Canada. So if you're in Alberta, come and check them out already. So Lisabeth, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Can you hear me well?
Oh yeah, okay. You
Okay.
sound good.
Because there's a window that popped up and it says I'm not recorded. So.
Oh, I think that was from the earlier thing when you cut out.
And it's not.
But you're good now, I think.
Yeah, you're definitely on here. We hear you well.
I can't see your face. Okay, well, it's going to stay like that. So yeah, I'm doing well. I'm super excited. It's my first podcast, so yeah, I'm a bit nervous, but it's fine.
Oh, you'll do just fine. It's definitely like even tough for like I think I've finally gotten in the groove after doing about 50 or 60 of these kind of things. So yeah, no, it definitely takes time, but then in the end you get in the groove when you realize you're just talking to people that are all kind of like minded. So that also kind of helps. But yeah, how's your season going out there?
We're right in the laying season, so I have most of my female already have their clutches, so I have maybe two or three more that needs to lay their eggs. So it's almost over, and then we're going to wait 2 months for the babies to hatch. So pretty excited.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay.
And then it's busy season.
Yeah, really busy.
Oh yeah.
So to everybody who doesn't know, Lisabeth is from Quebec, which is like the French province of Canada, which is the best province of Canada, let's be honest. I am a Quebecer at heart. I'm a Quebecer as well. So Lisa is obviously very French. If I told her before if she needs to speak in French for certain things, she just will, and I'll change it. But I think she's got nothing to worry about. Her English is actually very decent and very good, actually. I'm pretty impressed. The way Michael was talking about it, I thought we were going to be like translating the whole time, and it was going to be rough. But I mean,
I just
as usual, yeah, as usual, Mike's full of shit. So you're great. So it's perfect. Lisa, I'd love to know a bit your story. Like, how do you fit into herpetoculture? How do you, why Uromastyx? Why not bearded dragons like everyone, or iguanas, or you know what I mean? Like, how did you end up in that, in just specifically Euros? Like, basically, share whatever you'd like to share, the general picture of who is Lisabeth.
Well, I always loved animals, every kind of animals, but when I was maybe 12 or 13 years old, I asked my dad to have a reptile. So I do some research, and at that time, maybe in 1997, the most popular and easy to get reptile was green iguanas. They were pretty cheap. So yeah, I started with that. And then I had a blue tongue skink. And at around 16 years old, I got my first Uromastyx, which died last year. So he lived for around 25, 26 years. So that's pretty good. And I really like this species because they were herbivorous lizards. They were cute. Not too big because iguanas can be really, really large when they're adults. So, and while I had my Uromastyx, I also bought some bearded dragons when I was in university. So yeah, I began with bearded dragons, like everyone else. And well, bearded dragons are really heavy eaters of insects. So I began to be interested in insects because, like I said, I like every animals and even insects. So I tried to breed them, and I had some fun with them too. So I began my business by selling the extra feeders I was breeding. So all in my apartment. So yeah, that was a bit weird, but I had my lizards and my crickets and everything that I bred. And then we moved in a house, and then I had more feeders, more extras, more cells, and then I wanted to breed my bearded dragons too. And I kind of decided to try to do a business with this, not just a hobby. Then I registered my business, and it all started like that. So I really started by doing bearded dragons. But the year after, I bought more Uromastyx, and then I tried Uromastyx. And I did both species for many years. So I was more known because of the bearded dragons. So, and the feeders, because I had really nice feeders, really good quality feeders. And I was, through the years, I was getting more Uromastyx, more dragons, and the business grew larger every year. And then I introduced painted digammas in 2013, I think. And breeders always only sell the animals usually, and people get their equipment from the pet store and everything. But honestly, I think it was a mess because people were coming here, with the wrong things and wrong what is conseil, Dom?
Like the wrong advice.
Yeah, thank you. The wrong advices, and then I had to redo everything with the customer and say, okay, you have to get back this and buy this instead, and it was a lot of trouble. So eventually I decided to start selling the equipment too. So the lamps, the UVBs, the food, terrariums, everything I could to provide everything for their pet. So it's a bit like that I began. So most recently, I stopped breeding bearded dragons in 2018. But throughout the years, I bred desert iguanas, chihuahuas.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I know. Colored lizards, but I stopped to breed them. So now I only concentrate on different species of Uromastyx, some painted agamas too. And last year I stopped selling feeders because it was just too much. I was really busy, and then I have a son, a 3-year-old son, so he wants mommy sometimes. Hey, you cannot work 70 hours a week and forget about your child. So I had to do that decision for the family. So yeah, I dropped the feeders. So I'm concentrating on Uromastyx and painted agamas and selling dry goods too. So that's pretty much it.
So just
Awesome.
by curiosity, right now, do you have another job, or is this is you are doing full time for the past 15
This
plus
is,
years?
yeah, it's full time since 16 years on
Wow.
30th of June. So it's going to be 16 years
And just by
full time.
curiosity, when you did feeders, is it just crickets, or was it crickets and cockroaches and et cetera, or just crickets?
Well, I'm not able to say it.
Cockroaches.
Yeah, these ones.
La cucaracha.
Well, they were not legal at that time. They are for a couple of years now, but they were not, so I couldn't do them. But I was doing silkworms, hornworms, black soldier fly larva. I tried waxworm for a small period of time. I did grasshoppers, which you won't find anywhere else, but it didn't last for long because it's complicated. Earthworms, and of course isopods. But before
Oh
it
yeah.
was very popular, so we had only the brown ones, but yeah, we had them.
Oh yeah.
What else? I think
That's a pretty good list there.
yeah, but I was doing a lot of silkworms and hornworms to sell to people and also to sell to stores and
Oh
to
yeah.
some suppliers. So
Oh, so you would wholesale to like some of the big guys as well?
yeah, exactly.
They didn't try to buy up your company?
Oh.
Yeah, because I think they bought up everybody else's company across
Yeah,
Canada. But yeah,
they are.
yeah, no, that's
It's kind
the
of sad.
grasshoppers are cool
Sorry?
because I've thought of the grasshoppers. Those
Yeah,
are because there's a couple guys in the U.S. kind of doing them, although it's a pain in the butt for them with the USDA and all that. But it's kind of or is it USDA or is it like it's some agriculture thing? I think I'm talking about the drug enforcement or something. But
yeah.
the egg part of it, they have to like crossing state lines with them is kind of like not easy. But was it the same here, or was it just like the species you had to do it was kind of like just required a bit different steps than the typical kind of feeder, like crickets, I guess, since they're the
What do you mean?
closest.
Can you repeat the question?
So was there anything like complicated in terms of laws with the
No, no. It
grasshoppers
was
or
no,
no?
it was a indigenous species. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
a species from here. What was complicated is because since it was a species from here, Canada, they need the eggs needed to go in the fridge for some time, like to do hibernation, and then. But it was kind of it was long and
Oh
not
yeah.
super productive. So it was fun, but maybe not worth it to put some energy to it. So
Were you
Yeah,
just
for
doing
sure.
it mainly for like your own production so you could feed your animals variety?
yeah,
Yeah.
I tried to sell some, but I wasn't able to get a lot of them. So, but people enjoyed it really. And I
So
also did the painted ladies, the butterflies.
Oh yeah, the ones that go to like the elementary schools, and I remember being in kindergarten, and yeah.
That was
That's kind of
crazy.
cool.
The painted diagamas were jumping at them, and it was just really, really crazy. But you have to raise the plants, to raise the caterpillar. And if I remember well, because it's been like probably 10 years ago, but I think the caterpillar cannot eat the plants because it was toxic. So you have to remove the eggs from the plant and then give them special diet. And yeah, it was kind of complicated to get everything with all the other stuff I was doing. So I couldn't concentrate just on that. But yeah, I was selling for probably a year or two. I was selling butterflies for the lizards. It was
I
cool.
find it crazy that, like, okay, I want to keep my lizards. To keep my lizards, I gotta keep these butterflies. But to keep my butterflies, I gotta keep these plants. But to keep these, like, you keep going down to the point where it's like, man, isn't it just easier to go buy your feeders from someone? Like you're keeping things to keep things to keep things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's dedication.
Yes.
So one of my, sorry, Mike, do you want to go or do you want me to? Okay. So one of my big question is that often I wonder how people move their animals. So judging by the fact that you were doing it full time, you probably had a good amount of beardies, collared lizards, whichever species you had at the time, and now it's probably mainly Uromastyx from what you were saying, and possibly agamas. How do you move your animals? Like, are you mainly a wholesaler? Are you selling mainly just on your own? Are you exporting? Are you like, how do you move everything? And what type of production are we talking about? Are you making 50 babies a year? Are you making 300, 800?
It's about depending on the years, because sometimes it works well and sometimes it doesn't. And I think with Uromastyx, it's they breed once a year. So, and you have one clutch usually. So if you miss it, then that's all for this year. So it's usually around, for your mastics only, it's usually around 120 to 200 ish babies, which is good because each female can lay let's say 10 to 15 eggs in general, depending on species and depending if the female is small or large. But and for the agamas, it depends on how many clutches, but probably 40, 50 a year, maybe less, depending if
Because they lay multiple clutches, right? The
yeah,
agamids. Yeah.
it's a bit like a bearded dragon but smaller, so they can
Oh yeah,
lay,
they're cool.
yeah, really. They can lay like up to 3-4 clutches of 10 eggs, depending. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's too much, so I usually don't incubate everything. And I sell to how do you say, particular, I guess, to
Le Portugal, like the
non,
country?
les particuliers.
Oh, to individual people.
Yeah, individual people.
Okay.
I sell
to say, cool, you sell to Portugal. That's
no.
Cool.
Yeah, I wish. I sell to some pet stores, the ones I trust to be careful with my animals. And I do some exportation depending on some species that are very more, well, not very expensive, but more expensive and more sought after.
Would those be the
figure.
Yemenensis and the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then do you so I guess maybe we want to break this down more. Is what species of Euros do you work with? Because I think I have an idea, but I maybe you have some other stuff in the back that you don't really tell people about.
Yeah. I have Uromastyx. I'm not sure how to pronounce in English. Uromastyx Giri or Girai, I don't know.
I think
Nigerian
something
Uromastyx.
like that.
Yeah.
It feels right.
Uromastyx ocellata, Egyptia, Ornata Philby, Yemenensis, and I have some Uromastyx princeps growing to be future breeders.
Oh, those are nice. No Thomasi?
No.
Or are they kind of? I think they were on Ashley's list, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. There's probably I'm guessing there maybe a couple people maybe snagged them, but I just haven't seen them around really at all in Canada at least.
Yeah, well, usually people love them, but I talked to some breeders and they're telling me they're kind of boring because they are often they're eyed, so they're not really active. They're not super. You don't see them often, so I know they're cool, but I prefer to have some that have a nice behavior for owners. So that's why I chose the princess.
Yeah, all the stuff that you keep is pretty cool. Like Yemenensis, like a bunch of the I've always thought about doing Euros because they're all kind of cool though, right? Because like all of them look cool.
Yeah.
Like even like Oscillateds I know are like a little cheaper, but like they look just as they look cool in their own way, kind of thing, right? And even the Saharan stuff and that like they also like can look really good, especially for captive bred ones, right? So yeah, I think they're definitely like underrated, but people definitely look for them at reptile shows, and they're like if you just show people a picture of like an ornate and they're like, yeah, it's gonna either look like this or this. It usually gets them to be really interested in them for sure. So with those species, maybe you want to go into some just general care on kind of how you keep them and maybe some differences you find from species to species.
Yeah, sure. Just before that, I just want to make sure because there's something bugging me. If I don't see a red light besides my name, is it because it doesn't record me or it's fine?
I think you're good.
Okay.
I think you're good.
We see
I thought you were
We'll
going to
see
talk
tomorrow.
about when she said something's bugging me. I thought you were going to ask if that was actually Michael because he doesn't have his beard on. It is.
Well, I don't see him, so it's fine.
Oh, that's weird.
Because there's like I said, there's a black window in my.
If there's anybody in the chat, can you guys confirm that you can see us all three and hear us all three? Like I can see all three of you guys, and that we're having a conversation, it's going through. That's my thinking. We'll just see if somebody replies in the chat just to confirm, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm pretty sure it's working.
Or maybe you're just talking to yourself and
somebody just said all good, so you're good. You're good, Lisa.
Thank you. Okay, so the care of the Uromastyx you were asking me, I think. How I care for them.
Yes, I was nodding up and down, but you can't see us, so yes.
So I keep them in terrariums 4x2x2 feet. So I guess you know. I will tell you what I suggest to people for young ones, and then I will tell about maybe adults. So the terrarium would be the same 4x2x2. I don't use any substrates for the babies up to. I will use sand only for individuals that are 50 grams or more, just because the risk of impaction. And impaction is not a big deal if all your conditions are good, like the heat, the food, everything is fine. You won't have any problem with it because they won't eat the sand. But if they do, and they're small, and for example, if the temperature is not the perfect one, or it could create an impaction, and I really don't want the new customer or the beginners to have these problems. So, and I forgot to say the main the customer I have, the individuals that come to me for Uromastyx, it's usually beginners and usually families for kids, or for usually it's like, I would say 85% beginners. So I prefer to be safer, on the safe side, and say, okay, since you're not used with your animals and you don't know what to look for, we won't put any sand at first, because they leave at maybe, depending on the species and their growth, they leave at 6 to 8 weeks, and they're about, depending on species again, 20 grams, 25 grams. So I don't want to take any chance, and I say don't put any substrate. And then when they're 50 grams in, you do whatever you want. So you can add some sand. So of course you need the basking spots, and they love heat. So usually at the basking spot I have 50 to 55 degrees Celsius. And then we want to have a gradient, temperature gradient, going to the cool side at 30-35 degrees.
So I gotta ask, 50 to 55 Celsius sounds really high, no?
Yeah.
Isn't that like, what's that, like 120, 130 Fahrenheit?
130. It's around 130, I think.
Damn, that's like you're cooking the animal.
Oh yeah. You should see what Savannah monitors should have.
Yeah,
right? It's like 140, 130. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It just caught me by surprise. Like I was gonna say that's like monitor temperatures.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And yeah, I will get back to that later. I also, they need UVBs, of course. So T5 shows 10%, 10%, 12%, 14%, depending on the height of the terrarium and the branches and everything. I like to put a basking rock for sure. Branches, because some people think they don't climb, but they do. Some species are better climbers, like Yemenensis. Ornate are good climbers. Saharan, they like to climb, but they're clumsy. So you need to have bigger branches. They're not super agile, or they can fall. Yeah, I think so. A hide for sure, and I prefer to put the hide in the warm or middle of the terrarium, not the cool side, because the problem is with Uromastyx, they need to get really, really warm to wake up. So if it's only 30 on your cool spot, they won't wake up and they'll just hibernate. Or they will wake up at 1 p.m. So it's a bit late to wake up. So it's a little tip. So and we want the 50-55 degrees to be au sol, on the ground. Yeah, on the ground. We don't want to do like monitors and have the stacks. I don't know the name of the stacks and
the reedy stack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's cool for monitors, but Uromastyx won't wake up to get there. So you need to have really, really warm down the terrarium, so the heat is everywhere, and they will wake at maybe 40 degrees. So you need to put the hide really near the lamps.
And when you say wake up, does that mean that at night you're turning off the basking lights to bring them down? Is that the idea? Okay.
Yeah, because in the wild, in the desert, everything's going down. So it could be like 18 degrees in your house and it's fine. They don't need to be really, really warm all the time. So yeah, they need lower temperature to rest well. Yeah. So
Awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely try that with my own collection in terms of the snakes. Even like I try to shut off the heat with some stuff. If they're in a rack or have a heat panel, I might have it a touch warmer than what the room's going to get down to. But I let the room kind of drop down to some like 18 or 20, right? And in the winter, it might drop even a touch lower than that. And you and it doesn't seem to have an issue. Like I've never had regurges, and I'm sure like the Euro. So, oh yeah. Well, I guess I'll let you continue, but I think I have some other maybe questions eventually. But you definitely keep going. This is fantastic information.
well, it's pretty much it. But I mean, I keep adults like babies, except for the sand. It's the same size. It's the same temperatures. Um, what about? Well, for sure, bigger species need more bigger terrariums like Egyptia. I used to breed Moroccans too, nigriventris. So these ones were bigger too. Um,
I've heard a
and
bit of controversy. Oh, sorry. Keep going. I thought you were.
I was just telling, like I said, 4 by 2 by 2, but it could be larger too. It would be the minimum size.
So I've heard a bit of people keeping them differently in the sense that, or do you recommend keeping them communally, or do you recommend keeping each individual separately? And how about when it comes to the babies? Are you putting all 12 babies, let's say, that hatch in one big terrarium? Or I'm kind of curious on that aspect because I've heard it from different podcasts that it seems to not be the same answer depending on who you talk to.
It's not the same answer. First, because it's not the same thing for every species, and yeah, it depends on people too. But one species that I can tell for myself that always work well in pairs are the Giri or Saharan Nigerian, the orange and yellow ones. Those ones, I never had any problems keeping a pair together or two females. Ocellata are tricky, depends on the pair. Ornate, it's an absolute no. Females tends to be really aggressive, so out of 4 pairs, I have one that is okay together, but the other ones needs to be separate after mating. Like all the year they're separate, and then I introduce them only for spring, for breeding season. Yemenensis, I keep them in pairs because it works well for me, but it always depends on individuals. You have to try. And for babies, I usually keep them together until they are a month. Some will do fine, like the Giri, but some will be really aggressive at 3 weeks old. So, like nigriventris were terrible for that. They would bite each other's at 2 weeks old, like very territorial. So I had to do little groups. It's more complicated. But yeah, the ornates usually it's fine until 5 weeks old, 6 weeks old, depending on individual. But usually it's the females that are aggressive towards the male. That's why, in my experience, I don't know everything, but from what I tried. For sure, if you don't want any problems or you don't want to be worried about your animals and their safety, maybe you should have them in 2 terrariums so you're not afraid that something happened. So, but
Nice.
yeah.
The next place I'd go is how do you sex your babies or adults? Is there any sexual geez, sexual I forgot that word, dimorphism. There you go. Thank you. Oh, I'm saying thank you because I could see Michael wanted to say it. Is there any changes, or are you simply pairing them, seeing what happens, and then guessing what they are according to the way they're reacting on behavior?
For the adults, it's pretty easy because it's usually sexually dimorphic. So usually always depending on species, but usually males are more colorful. But it depends because, like, for example, Moroccans or, like I said, Niger ventris, usually females have really nice colors too. But if you're experienced, you can see by the shape of the head and the belly and the proportion of the body. You can see if it's a male or female. Yeah, for adults, it's pretty easy. For babies, they can't be sexed really fast. You have to wait. Like, it's for bearded dragons, I could tell from the start almost from the start if it was male or females. But for Uromastyx, it's more difficult depending on species too. You can try to lift the tail, but some species have ligaments in the tail right where I don't know how to say that, the hemipenis would be. So it's difficult to see.
Hemipenes.
Yeah.
You were pretty damn close. You had it.
Yeah. For me, I can sex the Gary pretty soon. But the other ones I can't tell until they are for sure they are 4 or 5 months old, depending on their growth. So I can see the coloration. Usually the males will have the nice colors really sooner than females.
That might almost be to your advantage for selling, right? Because you can just sell them unsexed, and this way you don't need to bother. Like, I only want females. Well, you're getting what you're getting. But on the same flip side of that token, if you're looking for animals, then you're like, if I have 3 males, I need females. You're buying unsexed as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. But so, like I said, most of my customers are
pet
people
keepers
that want a pet. And what do they want? Do you think it's male? Well, they want a male because they have bright colors.
Yeah, they want the pretty ones.
I can't tell. So it's different from people that want to breed them, because usually you want females and males. But when you buy only one to get a pet, usually people want male, and they're afraid. Sorry, they are afraid of egg binding and everything that they saw on the internet, and they're afraid of everything for females, so they really want males. But I can't know until you can click on the picture. You'll see you'll see images of these are this is a female, but she's pretty. She's still pretty for a female. Yeah, so for the ornates, like you see right now, even females have nice colors. So I always tell people that even if it's a male or a female, they'll be nice and colorful. And what you want is if you want a pet, you want a good behavior too. You don't want a pretty animal that is aggressive or, so it's not important, I think. The most important. Sorry?
Sorry, I keep trying to slide in while I think you're done talking, but I'm not doing very great. When it comes to their value, are you selling them more if, let's say, once you can sex them, like at 6 months, if you sell them later? Are you selling them more for a certain sex if it's past a certain age? So is the cheapest time or the cheapest animals usually to get them right when they're ready, like at the 6 to 8 weeks?
Yes, since about maybe 2 years now, I feel comfortable raising the price when I'm sure it's a male. So I would say yes, but the female stays the same price because, like I said, there people tends to prefer males. So, for example, sure, male ornate would be more expensive than a baby.
Would you be comfortable talking about the prices? Like maybe give an
Sure.
average price range. So like if you talked about ornates compared to that, are we talking about like a $100 to $300 animal? Are we talking about a $800 animal? And I imagine we're talking about Canadian dollars for all our
Yeah,
American
Canadian
friends there.
dollars.
Yeah. I'm just curious where they range.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you just for what I remember. It can be a bit different, but Uromastyx Geary, I sell females for 250 and males for 300 because those one I can sex when before they leave. Ocellata, I think, are 250 if I'm not mistaken. Egyptia are 300, ornate 400, and when they're sexed male 500. Ornata philby, which are a subspecies of Ornata, are more expensive because they're what's the rare, the word?
They're just rare. It's
Rare.
the same
Okay.
word,
Yeah.
add an
Okay.
R at the end.
Wasn't sure. Okay. They're 550, and Yemenensis are 650. So this is the more expensive, which is, to be honest,
It's
nothing.
gorgeous.
Yeah, they're gorgeous, but it's nothing compared to what they're sold in USA and Europe. So they should be a lot more. But we have to deal with the market. So in Canada, there's less, probably a smaller market, less demand. So I go with what is reasonable to sell. And of course, there are imports. So we have to deal with the prices in pet store for the wild animals, even though if my quality is better than a wild caught animals for sure, but people don't know about breeders. They don't know about what is wild caught animals, and so when they are in the pet store and they see the price, well, they think it's that price. So I have to be about the same price, but it could be higher.
As I was going to say, you're directly competing with the wild caught, which is
Yeah.
really too bad because, you know, you if I could have the same thing, you always pick captive bred, but captive bred tends to be sometimes like almost twice the price of captive of a wild caught, which I'm surprised you're saying like you're basically price matching, which probably really hurts you. It's
Yeah, but like the problem is, well, it's not a problem, but the market, like I said, is more beginners, so they're not aware of the difference between wild caught, captive bred. So they're just seeking a pet. But once sometimes they get to me because they just bought an Uromastyx in a pet store, which was wild caught, and it dies after 2 weeks. And then they get to me and say, "Oh, I just found you, and I didn't know it exists," and then they have a pet for their life. So, but probably it should be higher, but I don't feel comfortable selling them for more because I won't sell them, I think. So
it's the same
it's
story for
difficult.
me. Anything I sell, it's 2 to 3 times the price that they're selling. Well, they're selling in the States 2 to 3 times the price that we're selling them here. It's just it's like what is it? Demand, access, and demand. I guess
Yeah.
like that all depends on how many people want them, and for that it affects our prices. The next place I kind of wanted to go was, and I don't know if Michael's still tackling the chainsaw of his neighbor in the backyard there. So I'll keep talking until he decides he's going to talk. Um, I wanted to know, so are a majority of your breeders all wild caught? So you started with wild caught and you're producing? And if so, do you have a certain process or something different you do for when you get your wild caughts? Like, are you treating them? Are you deworming them? Are you I'm just curious to see, or do you just, and when you have babies, I'm guessing you're holding back some of your babies and starting to create some F2, F1, F2,
Mhm.
etc. Kind of go down that road if you don't mind.
For the start, I had to start with wildcat because it was, like I said, in 2010 there was, I would say, no breeders of Uromastyx, or probably if there was one, it was like a clutch a year or something like that. So it was 99% wild cut. Yeah, I start for all almost all wild cuts except for the oscillata, which I found a breeder um, that stopped after a few years. I'm thinking, yeah, they were all well cut. And Philby and Yemenensis are super rare here because they were imported from the wild just in one time in 2012. And I was lucky enough to get 3 pairs of each. So I started with that. And when I get them, I do my fecal myself, the fecal testing myself, and then when they need, I get to the vet and they do a fecal again and then prescribe some meds, because I think it's different. Sorry, it's different from Ontario and probably the rest of Canada, but here in Quebec we cannot buy medicine if it's not prescribed from a vet.
So yes and no. There's ways around it, and I bet you it's the same thing. So I couldn't like go buy Flagyl. I couldn't go
Yeah.
buy ivermectin, but I can go buy it if I go to a farm store for cattle and horses.
Oh
I
yeah.
can. So that's so I you can't go buy. So I get my ivermectin at like the Apple Saddlery, which is a store for cows, because you can buy ivermectin for cows over the counter. But I
Okay.
can't buy it at a pet store, or not a pet store, even a vet. I cannot buy it without a prescription, which
Okay.
is kind of weird. So I'm willing to bet you there would be ways that you could get it. Are you treating them with ivermectin, or what is it that you're using?
It depends on the parasites,
Okay,
because I don't like to treat if I don't know what's in there, because
seems prudent.
if you use like Panacur or Fenbendazole to try to treat something, and like if they have many types of parasites and you kill just one, the other ones will just pop up, like if there was a kind of an equilibrium, and then you take one out and boop, the other ones, and sometimes the other ones are more dangerous, and then your animal crashes. So I prefer to know what they have, and then I treat depending on the. But usually for your mastics, they have pinworms. This is 80% of the time it's pinworms. It comes from the wild. It's normal in their gut. Um, I even usually I tolerate a certain amount of pinworms because it's almost
Because they're present in feeders as well, like crickets and that. Although they're not, obviously Euros aren't eating it, but
no.
I'm guessing they're kind of very common, kind of like parasite to find in most reptiles. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Is
and
there any benefits to the Uromastyx of having pinworms? Like, is there some kind of a symbiotic,
yeah,
like,
exactly. That's
wound
yeah,
that the?
that's what
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
was. There is a kind of, I would say, I think it's commensalism, Like they will. That's an article I read about herbivorous reptiles. The pinworms will, if they're in small amounts, of course, they will move like the food in their intestine, and they will help absorb the nutrients. So that's what I read. If it's out of control, of course, it's going to be problematic. So the animal will be lethargic. They won't eat, and then they will lose weight, and then you'll be in trouble. And you have to treat them, but in small amounts, it's fine.
And just by curiosity, in the wild, if they all have pinworms, in the wild, I'm just going to take a wild stab knowing absolutely nothing about pinworms. But in the wild, is it that they're pooping, pinworms come out, and then they always keep a low number? And is it in captivity, they're pooping where they eat, and then the pinworms keep going back in and growing in numbers? Like, I'm just trying to figure out why the pinworms are a problem in captivity, or is it the stress that increases the production? Like, I'm just trying to figure out if they live with them in the wild, why is it a problem in captivity?
Good question. I think maybe a part like you said, but also the stress too. Like we tend to reproduce the wild, but we do mistakes, and probably there's some stress being in captivity. If the temperature are not right, like if it's too low, like many Uromastyx keepers, well, if it's too low, then the animal slowly the metabolisms can't fight the worms, and eventually they get sick. And also, like when they import them, usually they are when they're freshly imported, like the animals look healthy usually, but after a few weeks, then they drop because of the stress and because the bad condition they're in. So, and usually the company that imports them, well, their conditions are not really the best. That's what I would say. So yeah, I think that's a problem. But probably they also die of it in the wild. Like if a female lay eggs, and I guess a portion of them will die because if they're stressed and the parasite takes control, then yeah, they get sick. So in the wild, they don't all live either. So I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. That's what a lot of people forget too, is like we get pretty lucky in captivity being able to get food back onto them and get fat stores back onto them, so the next year they're looking good within a few months, kind of thing. No matter what the species really, like, other than I think boas for the most part. Even though actually in that boa episode that Dominic was talking about is Warren talked about breeding a Sonoran 7 years in a row, and boas are like an animal that usually you give a year off in between litters. So yeah, it's definitely stuff to keep in mind. With Euros, what's your kind of main diet? What do you have, like a staple green or greens that you kind of feed regularly, and then some other stuff you kind of mix in to spice it up, kind of thing?
Yeah. I like to offer. I'll try to translate in my head. Dandelion greens, scarol. Yeah, that one is tough. Chicory frisé is.
I won't even be able to tell you what that is because I don't even know what that word is in French. I mean, frisé is just like a hair
curly and div.
that's curly
Curly and div, I
something.
think. Yeah, curly and div.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Endive?
Those one would be
Curly.
staple.
Endive sounds right. Yeah.
Endive, yeah. Endive, okay. These ones would be staple, and everything in the cabbage family, like kale, cabbage. What else? Colored greens. Everything would be like every other day, like not too much. Oh yeah, I like to give mustard greens too. These are pretty tough to find. It's not all grocery stores, but I don't know. You probably don't know Lufa Farms. No, it's
No
more
idea
in
what that
Montreal.
is.
Okay, it's farms that are growing veggies on rooftops. Like what is sire?
A greenhouse.
Yeah,
Greenhouse.
exactly. They have big greenhouses, and it's all hydroponics. So it's cool. So they deliver at home, and I can do my I can buy stuff, and they deliver, and it's fresh, and I like it.
Oh yeah,
And they have
that's the
that
way you
kind
need
of
to do
stuff.
it.
Sorry?
That's the way you definitely need to do it. That makes it easy, right? And then you don't even have to go to 4 different grocery stores to get everything you want to food prep for the week coming up, kind of thing, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
exactly.
definitely helpful.
And those greens are very good for them. Um, Usually, people will that has only one Uromastyx will have difficulty to have a good variety, so they will buy mixed, like the veggie mixed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what
Like
I'm
I
talking?
think sometimes they
mixed
call it spring
greens.
mix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, spring mix. Um, it's a good option because you can't buy like 4 or 5 different lettuce to try to mix them, because you have just one, unless you like to eat a lot of salad. So
Would you be able to like prepare tons of bowls and like freeze certain sections, or that would not work?
freeze the
Like the veggies. Like let's say you
no,
prepared like no, that wouldn't work.
no, it's going to be all squishy
Yeah. You
when
see how good of a herbivore feeder I am?
yeah. Well, you can, if you do, like I was about to talk about this, but if you can, they like sweet potato, they like butternut squash. These ones you can grate them. I mean, you can grate an entire potato, and then sweet potato, and then uh, freeze them in some cubes, and then you can thaw them to give them to your lizards. I don't have to do that because I will use it like in one day to do a topping. So, but yeah, you can freeze some stuff like this, but not the leafy greens. I like to. They don't eat a lot of fruits. Okay, so usually I would say no fruits at all. You can try sometimes some blueberries, raspberries, strawberries in small amounts, because it's not really in their diet, but some will enjoy it. So, like a treat, it's fine. Um,
How about like grains and different things like that? Are they, and like I've heard some people feed a little bit of grains and some people even feed some protein. So is that a big faux pas on those two things, or small quantities is safe?
Grains like seeds, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the grelo, yeah,
yeah.
seeds.
Okay. Yeah, I feed them grains, and I have a mix of seeds and lentils, and I give them these proteins, but not more when they're growing, like babies to uh, through adulthood. Ugh, adulthood. Sorry. For adults, I still give them a bit, mostly after brumation, to get some fat and proteins, and in falls too, just before brumation. That's where I give more, but I don't want to give too much because it's easy for them to get fat, because in the wild they don't eat a lot, so their body is made to do reserve, so when they eat they can stock fat easily. We don't want them to be obese. So yeah, and yeah, exactly. No fruits, grains, yes. Oh yeah, and it can be dry or soaked or sprouted, like you know what I mean when I say sprouted? Yeah.
Sprouted,
I
like
think so.
the grain is the seed has started sprouting and coming to life. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
that
how
makes
about
sense.
animal protein? Any animal protein at all, or
I don't give any animal proteins.
because I heard some people do it. You shouldn't. They're not
Uh,
omnivores whatsoever, or
yeah. I think Phil just does it like on a like a once in a blue moon, just like the fruit kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe a couple times a year you could throw him some crickets or mealworms, maybe, but very very limited kind of thing.
Yeah, at that quantity it's not damageable. I mean, it's kind of a treat, it's fine. I prefer not to tell my customer to feed that because
then they're going to do it
Becomes a
all the time.
regular treat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just by curiosity, like I know with a lot of lizards, when you start feeding the wrong diet, like lots of herbivores, you will see physical changes that are usually a bad sign. Like I'll take a very simple one, like if you improperly feed a tortoise, their shell's going to be completely wonky, right? With Uromastyx, if you're not doing a proper diet, is there any indicators or anything that will be visually telling you that you're improperly feeding them?
Um, well, they can become fat for sure. So if you give too much grains or too much peas, everything that's really rich and nutrient dense, um, I don't really see what could happen, but I only think of the supplements. If there's two way of feeding animals, especially for herbivorous, some people will calculate the balance between calcium, phosphorus of all what they give, and they won't give any supplements. And other people will um, like they will not calculate, but they will give like a good diet, but they will add supplements just to be sure they're fine. And I'm from that one. I mean, I use supplements just to be sure there's nothing we forget in the diet, and yeah, to balance calcium to make sure it's all good. So you make me think of what we can see. Well, I was thinking about MBD. So could be a problem if the balance of the calcium is not good. Of course, if the UVB are not changed every years, or if you forget to put UVB at all, or things like that. I often saw that Uromastyx with problems with their uh, what's that, the mâchoire,
The
their
jaw.
the jaw. Yeah, thank you. They had difficulty eating because the jaw was so soft because it was lacking calcium. Um,
And
Bones
just
were
by
breaking. So yeah,
yeah, that's the same problems you see often in bearded dragons, people's pets that they don't really take care of. When you talk about an obese Uromastic, I'm just curious here. Is it the tail is thickening as well? Like, is it the tail and the belly that's going wide, or is it just the belly? I'm just curious because I know the tail seems to get wider as well. Or am
I
I
would
wrong to
say,
say that?
yeah. Well, first of all, your mastics all hatch like with big bellies, so that's normal. Like they have a pear shape. But yeah, when they get obese, I would say it's mainly, well, yes, the belly, and also they will get like a big. You probably saw the leopard geckos that were really,
Oh yeah, and
yeah,
the day geckos too. The giant day geckos.
fat.
They get the calcium sacs
Yeah,
kind of
well,
sitting on their jaws.
yeah, but it's just fat for your mastics. They get fat here. They get fat under the arms, like
Kind of
some
like their
geckos.
jowls. Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the neck
Yeah.
here. They're like, "Burp." And yeah, so that, yeah.
And just by curiosity, is in the Uromastic and even the lizard world, is obesity a problem as much as it is in snakes? Like, do keepers just feed the crap out of their animals and make them really fat as well, or
No, it doesn't really happen often, to be
no? Okay.
honest. No, usually they're usually they're either too thin or just normal. From what I saw, too thin because sometimes they're well cut and they have parasites and they're underweight because they're sick. But usually, I saw only once or twice two obese Uromastyx. But
Okay. Yeah, that's
on the
not too bad, I guess. Not as much as you see in people's 18-foot retics that are way too big.
yeah,
Awesome.
because it's we feed them every day usually. But
Yeah.
if it's a good diet, then they won't eat more than they need usually, unless it's like I said, they really like green peas. If it's a treat, it's fine. But if you give them every day, then they get fat. So
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah. So it was my turn to do it this time. Are you feeding them every morning? Like you prepare all the food for everything and then you feed everything once a day? Or could you skip a day? Could you feed like Monday, Tuesday, then skip Wednesday, feed Thursday, Friday, right? Like I'm just curious to see if it's a daily chore for everything.
yeah, well, usually it's every day, and Sunday it's my day off.
Okay.
But not for babies, because babies, since they're kept together, I don't want them to get aggressive or nibble the toes or the other ones. And babies, I feed them usually twice a day, just to make sure. If I feed them in the morning and some are not wake up, then they won't eat because all the other ones eat everything. So I prefer to give them like in the morning and then after dinner, so they have two servings. Everyone's eating well, so that way I'm sure they're fine.
And
But
skipping the Sunday, is that for you? Or is there like a real benefit that you took from how they are in the wild? Like, are they every now and then fasting in the wild? They're not finding food, and that's what you're trying to replicate? Or is it just purely Lisabeth needs a day off and Sunday's her day off?
well, it's not totally off to be honest, because I have other things, but it's both. It's for them and also for me. But I mean, sometimes I don't skip. Sometimes I skip two times. So it's a bit to replicate too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. So
But if
with the Euros, what's your favorite species to work with and why? Or do you love them all and they're all kind of equal?
uh no, I have some favorite ones. um, I really like Ornata and Ornata, Philby, and Yemenensis. Let's say those three. Because they're usually very, very active. They are curious. They are like the Yemenensis likes to climb. They are very like I enjoy looking at them. Let's put it like that. Ornates are I think they have a good temperament for beginners because they're really, really relaxed, even when they're very young. So like you can take them and they're like they don't care, and they will climb on you and they'll lick and be curious. So I find them really easy. Some others like the Saharan or Gary are more some can be curious and can be more not afraid, but
like weary,
yeah, well,
cautious.
yeah, cautious, like
We're just gonna throw all the synonyms out.
yeah. Continue. No, well, sometimes you walk to you enter the room and they will just flee and they hide. So it's yeah, it depends on the individuals, of course, but I like just the colors of Ornata. They're awesome. They all look great. Same for Yemenensis. They all have like the dots and different colors. So yeah, it's more a behavioral thing that for me. Um, I don't like this. I don't like, but I prefer species that are more active, more you see them all day long. Because some species are more they will wake up, they will eat, and then go hide.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely, especially when it's your full time thing and you're always in the room. It's really nice to go in and see what you're kind of working with, right? Rather than just they're like, okay, I'm just keeping a bunch of cages with sand and
And poop.
sticks and hides and poop that I'm feeding and I don't see anything in. So with the your other species that you're working with now, the painted agamas,
Yeah.
how are those? Like you generally keep those like Euros, other than I'm guessing you keep them in groups because I know my buddy Greg and our sponsor he has a group of them and he keeps them like 1.2 or 1.3 together in like a bigger like 5x2 kind of bearded dragon almost setup kind of thing that they do good, and I'm guessing they're eating insects as well kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping them almost exactly like bearded dragon. So same temperature, same food. But they do climb more because bearded dragons will climb once they're babies and juveniles, and then adults are more, I would say, lazy. So they climb less and they're less active. But painted agamas are super active even as adults because they're smaller. And yeah, so I put more branches, more things to climb. But it's exactly the same the same temperature, same food.
Oh
So I
yeah.
keep them the same as bearded dragon, not the same as Uromastyx.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're definitely neat. Every time I see them at Greg's or whenever Ty gets them from Greg or you kind of thing, like they just look so they're just so cool. Like it's like why are people buying bearded dragons when they could get something that's smaller, more active, and looks
I
actually
know.
pretty cool as well, right? Like they get some nice colors on them.
I'm really trying to get them more popular, but there's not enough people have, you know, bearded dragon are so all over the place. It's difficult to make them make the painted agamas more popular. But when I was breeding both species, people were coming to see the bearded dragons I had to sell, and they were leaving with the painted agama, because once they were entering my home and they were okay, and then I was giving them the painted agama in the hand, and they could see the behavior and the size, and they're super curious too, very active, and yeah, they were leaving with the painted agamas. But now I'm not breeding bearded dragons anymore, so it's more difficult to get customer knowing them. So I'm
Yeah,
trying,
I
but
feel I feel like at shows, if you got if say you normally have beardies, but then you don't anymore, and you got customers coming up, oh, we're looking for bearded dragons, we're looking for bearded dragons, and you can be like, I don't have bearded dragons, but I have this that'll actually be more fun, and I feel like that definitely helps. Like actually, that's how, yeah, because like even at the show we had people wanting blue tongues kind of thing because that's like another species that they're not as popular as beardies, but they're like Euros where once people do a touch of research, they kind of hear about them and they're like, oh, this is actually like another cool option kind of thing. And you can, but then when you have other skinks or desert lizards on the table, you can kind of push other similar species that are just as good to keep as kind of the hobby staples, I guess we could say.
mhm.
And then oh, what was it? Oh, do you Ven shows? Do you only do the Quebec shows, or do you ever go to Toronto?
We used to do all the back in the days there were shows in Montreal and Pointe Claire, and
There
we
still
went.
is.
There's
They
still
restarted them 2 years ago because I've been to one 2 years ago, and I think there is one once a year now.
oh
But it's like it's still in Pointe Claire, but it's like an aquarium and reptile show.
okay
It's not the same company that runs it, but I've
oh
been to one recently, but it's pretty small. Like if you compare it to it's like a 25 table show, so it's not a very big
okay
show. But there was one pretty recently. I think they've restarted.
okay. Well, we used to go there, and we used to go to. We went maybe I think 4 times to the big show in Toronto, the Breeder Expo, before COVID, and then there was COVID, of course, and then I was pregnant. I got my son, and now it's a bit difficult to get weekend to do that, and I feel that I don't need to do it anymore because people know me. Of course, I could be more present in shows. Um, but to be honest, I don't like to sell in shows because when people take an like when a customer take an appointment with me, they come in and we talk for an hour and a half um, about the care, even though they have read my care guide, because I ask them to read my care guide beforehand, and then we meet, and then we talk about the animal. We choose the animal. Um, I take the time to answer questions. I feel that in shows, it's so fast. Um, Sometimes people just they don't have done their research. They just bought the animal. I don't like that. I feel it's not an animal that you can just buy super fast and then you put them at 30 degrees and you complain because it's not eating, but it's really not the right temperature. So yeah, I prefer to that people do their research first and then contact me, and then they're sure they want an Uromastyx, and we can talk about it, and that's the way I do it. Um, and it's pretty expensive to rent tables at shows, and usually we were selling a few, and I used to take a lot of tables because my animals were in glass terrariums instead of small box, because I found it important to bring a terrarium, put the lights, put all the setup so people can see what you need for the animal. So for all that, it was expensive. It was difficult to put that in the car and drive 5 hours for a Toronto show. And then it was 2 days. It's not my first language, and it's more difficult for me. So everything. So yeah, now it's more difficult with my son. But yeah, people can always contact me, and we can ship Canada-wide usually, and that's not a problem anymore. So
I was going to say, most people that do shows at first, you mainly do it because it's a good way to get your name out there and people to see you, right? So if they keep
yeah,
seeing you the way you set up everything, you probably build up, even if you don't really make money or you break even. At first, it's worth it, but eventually, it's just not worth it.
yeah,
Like I've always debated on whether we should do shows, and I don't think it's worth it. The amount of money I'd have to invest into the whole setup and everything I need for a show, I don't think it'd be worth it because I still sell out every year. So to me, it's not worth it yet. Maybe one day it will be.
sometimes it's just for the fun because you meet
Yeah, it
people.
is.
It's a happening.
Yeah, I agree. And the Burritos Expo is the only one I'd want to do, but the tables at the Burritos Expo is insane.
Yeah, I know.
It's like I don't remember the
$700 and you
I was
don't
gonna say
actually get a
800.
table.
Is
Well,
it
800 if
700
you
or-
want a table.
okay.
No table for $7.
But like $800 for one table, like it's insane. Like how are you supposed to make money? And some people have, like, let's say you have 2-3 tables, man, like
Yeah,
$2,400 for a
And-
3-table
and
setup.
then us
and
coming out
that's-
from the West, we're paying shipping, which is, if you bring out one box, that's $500-$600 one
Oh.
way, because you're bringing the big box.
the plane.
Yeah. Well, actually, but that's the thing. If you can line up WestJet air cargo, it's only like $100 or $200. So that FedEx sometimes, like if you're doing a really big shipment, like sometimes it is actually worth it just to drive to the airport, put it on the WestJet kind of air cargo or Air Canada, whoever still does it kind of thing, and that'll actually save you money, even though it's a bit more of a pain than just having them pick it up.
Yeah.
But
FedEx is so unreliable, man.
Yeah, and at least with airport to airport, you know it went on a plane and it's going on within a couple hours, and the person's on the other end receiving it like right away, kind of thing. It doesn't sit there overnight at all, or it shouldn't at least.
Just by curiosity, Lisa, is when you're shipping Uromastyx, how do you ship them? Like, is it fine for them to get cold? You just don't put any heat pack. You're just room temperature, and they're fine.
They're super resistant. It's not like they need to be warm all the time.
So the 1 or 2 days is not a problem. Like even in winter, are you putting a heat pack in winter?
Yeah, in winter we don't ship for 2 days. 2 days transit, but we need heat packs for sure. But I mean, if it's between like 16 to like 50, maybe not 50 because they need to get. Anyways, it's not going to happen. But I mean, like anywhere from 16 to 35, 40, it's fine. It's not like frogs that are super sensitive. Like they need to be in a precise bracket of temperatures, but you're super tolerant to temperature. Like,
so fair to say you almost never lose animals in shipping.
Oh, it never happened.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's a nice stress not to have, because with snakes, little too cold is fine. Too hot is not good at all. Like usually they die of too much heat. So like it's almost more dangerous to ship a snake in the summer than in like spring, autumn, or even winter, because it's easy to keep an animal a bit warm. Fighting a plus 30 day outside, and if the person takes it off the airplane, puts it on the side, and it stays in the sun for half an hour, that snake is cooked and it's dead.
Or just the back of the truck kind of thing that they're driving around, and that could be
AC.
5-10 degrees warmer than it is outside, possibly, right? So it's all that other stuff that customers don't always kind of think about either, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
you always have to be safer than sorry. So if the temperature is not right, sometimes especially in winter, I just hold the animal more for a few weeks until the temperature are better, because I don't want to take any chance.
You're muted again.
In my defense, I pressed the button. I just pressed it twice. That one was actually not my fault. Can we go back to Uromastyx just on the breeding aspects? You're telling me they're breeding only once a year, right? So do you have a cycle for the majority of them? Or are you different temperatures during winter, during summer? Are you packing on food right before? Are you introducing the male one day, you're looking at him, 30 minutes later, you're pulling him out and that's it? Or are you leaving him in there for 2 weeks? I'm just curious to see kind of how, like, overall, I'm sure it's going to be different species to species to a certain degree, or small differences, but I'm kind of curious. You don't need to give us the exact recipe, but I'm just curious to see how it works.
Mm-hmm. Well, for them, we need to do a wintering or a brumation, or I don't know what you want to call it, but a winter time where they sleep. So
let's
you
go
have
with
to
estivation. That's another
estivation
one.
for the
No,
no.
I'm just. But
so when the temperature drops, for us it's October, let's say. Then I drop the time of the lights. So let's say in summer they have 14 hours of light. Then I slowly drops every week until December, I guess. For some species, all the lights will be closed for a few months. For others, it's going to be on for 8 hours, depending, like I said, on the species. And then when it's spring, then maybe March, I do the opposite. So I increase the time of the lights, and then that's for stimulating ovulation for the females, and then the males get excited too. So, and for the pairs that are together, I don't have anything to do. They know what to do. For the ones that are separate, I have to introduce them, and usually depending on the pairs, because some females are really aggressive, I can put the male and see right after it's not good or it's good. So if she's kind of really aggressive, then I take him out, and I will try another time later. And then, like I said, depending on the pairs, some I can keep them together, some no. So usually they will breed a couple of times, maybe no, not a couple, more than that. Usually I can see them 4 or 5 times in the same 2 to 3 weeks interval. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that sounds kind of similar to blue tongues to an extent. Like blue tongues have their kind of short window where you need to get their kind of. Of course, blue tongues you need to like really watch them. You know, usually people put them in like a bin together kind of thing and watch them the entire time they're locking up, so nobody loses any limbs or anything. But yeah, no, the Euros seem pretty cool, and yeah, with the light cycle, I know snake guys sometimes do that, but I know my snake room's only getting outside light kind of thing because I don't really put light in my cages. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool to see how differently lizards are compared to doing snakes.
Yeah, and then usually they lay eggs 4 to 6 weeks after. So you have to watch that and put the lay box, or well, there's different ways to do it. I prefer to put the lay box for the female, but some female refuse to go there. So it's my little challenge every year to try to catch the eggs before they cook. And sometimes females will just prefer to have sorry. Some female will just prefer to have wet sand in their hide, and they will use that. Some will prefer to have a big lay box. It really depends on the species, on the female, and some are they'll have problems with female that will just lay out of the open, and then you have to be home and catch the egg, like I said, because it's 45-50 degree where they lay. So like if you wait an hour, it's too late. So.
And what are you putting in the lay box? Like what substrate? Are you putting vermiculite? Are you putting dirt? Are you sand?
A mix of the three. So.
Oh. Hey, that was
hey,
a pretty good guess.
Everything well packed so they can burrow a tunnel, so it's not falling apart. So they like to dig a lot. So yeah.
And are you kind of like reflattening everything every day so that if it's been dug in, then you go check? Is that kind of the idea? I'm just curious, like, how do you know if they did lay eggs?
Oh my God. Because you see the okay. Females looks like a pancake. Like
okay.
They look like wild caught animals dying, but they're healthy.
Yeah, they look that bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible. Okay. Because when they are full of eggs, they don't eat the last week or so. So their stomach is empty. Their intestine are empty. There is only space for eggs. And the eggs are big for the females, so they don't do a lot, but they're big. So there is no question. If everything is in the box, you will see your female is really looking bad.
And can you count the eggs, like when they're inside the female? Can you visually see each lump, or is that not a thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You won't be able to say, okay, there's 10 or 12, but you clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we see at least 6. So you can imagine there's more. When they're about to lay, it's really the skin is really flat on the egg, so you can see the shape. Yeah.
And bouncing back mom, is that a like within 2 weeks she's right back with regular feedings, or is that something that takes a while to bounce back?
Usually healthy females, it really takes like you said, 2-3 weeks, they're fine.
Okay, so it's, if they could double clutch, it probably wouldn't be a problem. It's just that they are just seasonal once a year.
Yeah, and it happens to me once, a double clutch through the years, but it's pretty rare. It's not often. So usually they just do one clutch.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's neat that it's happened to you once, though. That's still kind of interesting. I'm not even sure if Phil's ever had it. That'd be neat to know. But yeah, have you ever? So we're talking about all captive keeping now. Do you ever go out herping or anything? Are you trying to get your firstborn into maybe liking some reptiles through some hikes and walks around? Because I know in Quebec and Ontario, where you both are kind of located, there's a good diversity of turtles and even a couple snake species and a few amphibians, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, in our city, there's a lake and some ponds, and we can see there's painted turtles. They're serpentine or anyways, another kind of turtles.
Painted turtles.
No, well, there's another one like.
Are you
Oh.
Talking
thinking
about
snapping
turtles?
Oh, snapping. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
In
serpentin in French.
serpentin,
Yeah.
exactly, snapping turtle. It's
That's
such
right.
a dumb name in French. It doesn't even like if you translate that name, it means snake turtle,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
which makes
Oh,
no
that-
sense, right?
No.
Oh okay.
None at all. So
Snapping.
it's
Yeah. Snapping
a
turtles.
snapping turtle, the common snapper.
Yeah. And we have a mountain in our city and a national park, so there is a lot of gardener snakes there. So yeah, I like to go there to walk and show my son all things. And well, he likes to be in our basement too because the lizards are there. So and he helped me dig the eggs for most of my lay bucks this year, so he was impressed and it was
So
fun.
the more important question is how bad is your hydro bill per month with the amount of I'm actually curious on this one
You
because
know
if
what?
you've got
I look at it today just for fun because I'm the kind of person who just pays and forget about the numbers. But I checked last year was almost 3,000 for the year.
oh, that's actually really good.
For my business part. It's not
Or
all
like not the house.
not the house, just the lizards. Well, I think someone with a pool, with a heater, probably is with a sauna. I don't know. We don't have a pool. We don't have that kind of stuff. But I don't know how to compare. But it was like yeah, almost 3,000 for last year.
So I moved out of my old house, and when I lived there, I had all my snakes in the basement, and I had an electric car, so I would use that for the charger. The electric car is probably like, let's say, $60 a month max. The electricity bill run from 350 a month down to 180 after I moved out. So I'm pretty sure a big chunk of that electricity was all me. It's like, and I don't know, maybe it's the way I feel, but I feel like each of your bulbs are probably using up a good amount of electricity, right? Like heat tape is very low wattage, but isn't like a bulb to get to your 45, 50 degrees, isn't that like a high wattage bulb, or am I wrong? Like 50, 60, even plus wattage?
Well, let's say for a person that has only one in a closed terrarium, like we don't want the mesh top, okay? We want a closed terrarium either in PVC or melamine or wood or anything you want. Usually it's at least 100, 75 watt to 100, and sometimes you need two because we don't want super warm in one end and very, very cold right after. We want a good gradient. So me, because they're all like stacked and it's all in the same room and everything is like the one on the ground needs a higher wattage, but then it eats the other one and it eats the other one on top. I would say it's 75 watt to 50 watts per terrarium.
And just by curiosity, with the amount of babies you told us, you've got what, probably like 80 terrariums, maybe, give or take? Am I off on my number? How many terrariums do you have in your house? Like,
let me count them.
I was gonna say the eyes looking up, that looked like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I said I'm not good with numbers. I just forget them.
So the reason I'm
better
saying
not to count.
yeah. No, but like if you compare it to snakes, right? Like we're gonna have one heat pad, and the heat pad is flex watt, which is maybe like 8 watt per feet. So I maybe have 16 watts per cage, right? And my heat watt is set at maximum of 50%, so it's never heating the pad, so you're at actually 8 watt for one cage, right? So it's really low wattage, but having give or take 50 cages, I still end up with an electricity bill of
Yeah.
probably about $180 of just snake room per month. So if yours, you're looking at not 8 to 10 watts per cage, you're looking at 75, 50 to 75. I feel like your electricity bill must be way more, but you're in Quebec, and I know your hydro bills are
Lower.
much more lower than Ontario, because Ontario, if for
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't know, I think we have one of the, if not the highest electricity cost in the like entire world. Like we were getting ripped off like no tomorrow. It is insanely expensive for electricity in Ontario,
Nuclear power.
which is so dumb. And we're a province that produces more electricity than they need, so we're getting ripped off like no tomorrow. Sorry. So, what's
Yeah.
your magic number?
Yeah, I think it's about 40, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot a room. Wait a minute. Because there, when I was breeding insects, I had a room separate for to have temperature control for my silkworms. That was really important. But then I don't breed them anymore, so I took the room and I switched it for to put more terrariums. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have around 50 terrariums total.
And last question on that: have the cops ever knocked on the door and asked if you were having a grow up because of the amount of electricity you're using, or that's not an issue?
No.
Because I feel like if you looked at each houses, it's like this house uses this much, this house uses 8 times the amount of that, the other ones, and then we go back down, right? Because when you think about it, like if you've got 50 terrariums at even 50 watts, like that's
Yeah.
it's a ridiculous number, right? It's so much more electricity than anybody else.
And we try to keep, because it's in my house, we try to we have air conditioning in summer to be comfortable. So it's still 28 in the basement, but yeah. But in winter, we
Oh yeah, in the winter it's gonna help keep your house warm too.
yes,
So there's the benefit there.
exactly.
Awesome.
But yes, that's the most expensive part.
Interesting. And sorry to go into money. I'm just curious. Like to me,
It's fine.
herbivores are really expensive. How about food? Like, so you're feeding that amount of animals. You're spending what, $100, $200 of food a week, or are we less than that? I'm just
Right now, oh, about the food, I forgot. I'll just do a little apart. I like to give also tortoise pellets.
Oh yeah, the
Grassland.
what is it called? I have them for my tortoises. The big name brand that
Mike. I
supplies
don't
you
know
with
if
them.
you're far from the mic. We can barely hear you.
Oh, is
Not
that
the
better?
Missouri.
Oh, I was thinking the Missouri. You feed
Well,
something else?
they eat it, but I prefer the zoomed grassland tortoise.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the Missouri is good too. But I like to soak it in water, then mix it with the veggies. But yeah, for the money it takes every like right now, I checked today as well because I knew maybe you would ask. Um, it's around, like, we're in the breeding season. There's no babies, or almost not. So it's about $60 a week. With the babies, it would be more, but we also have a garden, so we grow some kale, mustard green, dandelion, so it helps in the summer. We grow flowers too, so I forgot that too in their diet. I like to give them flowers. Yeah, so it raises a little bit with the babies because I like to give them more variety so they can be less picky. They can, like, if you use them to many types of different food, I believe they get less picky because they're used to many things. So it raises a bit, but maybe 100 a week, I guess. It's not so bad.
It's not too bad.
No,
It's
when
not
you
bad at
compare
all.
to no, when
I was
you
gonna say it's
Mhm.
cheaper than having 60 to 80 snakes in your house.
Yeah.
Because even if I don't feed often, like the rodent bill is so expensive that I'm thinking my feeding is probably around like $5,000 a year to feed my collection. I'd say like that would be my guess, give or take. So, and don't get me wrong, I don't actually pay for my rodent. Shan's amazing. If you're listening to this, thank you, thank you, thank you. I get an unlimited supply of food from the lovely Shan Melanson, so I appreciate it. But if I paid for it, I'm guessing he probably supplies me around $5,000 of food a year, which is insane. Like it's the cost has gone up so much. But for some reason, like I was looking at my own grocery bill for like feeding humans, like if I want to buy lettuce, man, it's like $10 for just the three romaine lettuce. It's like I feel like everything's so expensive that I feel like
Yeah.
your food bill must have gone up too for herbivores.
Yeah, for sure. But the most expensive thing with Uromastyx is the animal itself and then the setup. But after that, like, it's, I mean, you have to change the UVB lights every year or every 6 months, depending on the brand, and you have to change the lights when it burns. But other than that, it's like people will buy some food at the grocery stores and some extra, like sprouted veggies or sweet potatoes or butternut squash, but it's not so bad if you compare it, for example, with a bearded dragon and the food it eats and the insects and everything. It's a lot more. So it's pretty cheap to keep. Let's say it that way.
Do you own a UV meter? I'm just curious with the
Yes.
amount of cages. Okay, I was gonna say with the amount of cages you have, it's
Yes.
probably worth checking each of your bulbs to see because the expiration date on the bulb or whatever means nothing. It's really about how much. Because
Absolutely.
how much was that UV meter? I've always heard like it's $600, some ridiculous. Like it's a good amount of money, right?
I have a UVB meter and a UV index. It's about 300 each.
Okay, but it's made its money back by basically figuring out which one needs to change,
yes.
so it's 100% worth it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I can compare brands. I can sometimes the UVB it's still good after a year, but not in a 24 inches tall terrarium. But then I can switch it to a smaller terrarium that is less high, lower. So because it will be fine for at the ground, the readings will be the same. So I can still use them. But for most of them, I still change them every year just to make sure, because I don't want to cheap out on this with breeding animals,
Yeah, for sure. They're if you keep them well, they'll treat you well. And like you said, you're the first one you got only just passed away at 25, and I feel like somebody's told stories about Euros possibly even living into their 30s and 40s too, kind of thing, just like pythons can do in the so which is pretty cool, right? So it
Didn't
means you're
Phil
doing
talk about
a
a
good job.
50-year-old animal?
Probably that might have been an Egyptian too, if I recall. I might just
bigger live longer. Yeah.
Something like that. I remember like in the 50s that he talked about, but I might be wrong. But
either way, like it's pretty neat that and it makes sense, right, for an animal that's intaking low nutrient amounts in the wild and where they're probably estivating for parts of the year too, especially with like drought conditions and that, where they're probably just hunkered in a burrow kind of for a while. So it's kind of it's neat. It makes sense, but it's still cool to know that like, you can own a pet that. Oh yeah, you heard tortoises live long, but actually these should live pretty long too if you do them right and do them justice.
Yeah, and it takes them sometimes to be breedable, to be adult size too. Like they grow pretty slow.
Like a good 3 years till they hit sexual maturity, or is that kind
Oh
of what
yeah,
we're
depending
thinking?
on species. But yeah, for ornates, for example, if they always have the right temperatures, 3 years is probably
Nice.
the 3-4 years.
I feel like we've kind of gone a little bit around everywhere in Uromastyx, Lisabeth. Before we're probably going to close it out shortly enough. Is there any other topics in the Uromastyx that you feel we haven't hit that you'd like to talk about? I don't know, like I think there's maybe one aspect we haven't touched, like incubation, eggs, how long, what temperature, can you change the sex on temperature, all those kind of things. Maybe incubation we haven't talked about, but everything else, I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if there's something you wanted to talk about that we might have missed.
I don't think so.
Sorry for putting you on the spot. And
Well,
the answer no is okay too.
No, well, I will think about it while talking. For incubation, usually it takes about 2 months at 90, 91, 92 degrees, around that. A little bit more than 2 months. What can I add? Babies.
And
yeah.
Any different sex if you go to like to 93 or 90 or
they don't seem to be sex dependent, but
temperature sex.
Temperature sex dependent, yeah. But I think there's some species that could be. I don't remember which one. I don't think that's the species I have. But I never experienced that.
Okay, and what about the substrate? Are you trying to keep it really humid in there? Or are you trying to, or is it more of a dry incubation?
I'm not sure what would be a dry incubation or a humid incubation, but my containers are they have droplets in it in the substrate, so I guess it's more humid and it's closed.
Yeah, it's probably close to like the 90% ish then.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't measure the humidity, so I don't know, to be honest.
Fair enough. I don't either.
That seems like most of us kind of like, well, we just found this. Somebody told us this formula. It works. That's what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
Any
more question about?
I was gonna ask Mike. Do you have anything else you wanna that you want to ask before we?
I think we've hit on pretty much everything I had in mind. But yeah, no, it was definitely great talking with you, Lisabeth, and yeah, I definitely hope to see you on Phil's at some point because I'm sure he'll be able to ask all the questions that we missed, kind of thing, and he can really, because he's on that whole nother level. But no, it was fantastic talking to you and hearing your story and hearing a new story, right? Like it's always good to get new podcast guests on that nobody's heard before. So yeah, I thank you for putting yourself out there and coming on.
Thank you. Well, it was a big challenge for me, but I don't know how you did to convince me, but you were at the right time.
Well, honestly, the right place. It was great, Lisabeth. Like you speak very well. Your English is actually almost perfect. Like this was a very easy conversation to have. So, and it's great hearing somebody else because there's so few Uromastyx breeders that actually breed in large numbers. And I
Yeah.
apologize for all my beginner questions, but let's be
Oh,
honest,
that's fine.
I don't keep anything with legs. Like legs don't belong on animals for me. So I had a little bit of stupid questions, and I apologize for all the other people. That's why, like, if ever you go on with Phil, like, he'd probably be asking you slightly more advanced question. Um, and by slightly, I mean probably much better questions. But we really do appreciate you coming on. Do you want to drop your contacts if anybody wants to get a hold of you, buy a euro from you, or
Yeah, well,
just
it's
stalk
actually
you?
the right time to do it because like they're incubating right now,
There you go.
and usually we have a like a reservation list so people can reserve in advance. And then we contact them and they can choose before the animals are actually on our website for sale. So it's the right time to contact me for that right now. We have, well, I'm not super I'm not on every platform. So I have a website which is elevages.com. And if it's complicated for you to write it, you can just Google Lizard, not Lizard, Uromastyx breeder Canada. You will find usually it's Google finds me really well. I'm
We're gonna put it in the show notes for both YouTubes and
Oh
on the
yeah,
platform. And
I'll put all the
we,
links
I
in
mean
there.
Mike. So if
it
let's
was
be
not
honest,
a
not me.
it was not a really nice name for English speaking people. I didn't talk about that when I decided the name. But anyways, um, I'm also on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. There's a Instagram too, but I'm really not really active on that platform. So if you want to reach me, it's my website, my Facebook. I have a YouTube channel with some videos, so it can be cool to look at it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be sure to link all that and so people can reach out to you and check out what you have because her website is really good. It has all the breeders and available
Yeah,
available and everything. So it's a one stop shop, especially if you're in
yeah,
Canada for sure.
some people find it a bit difficult to browse into it because it's kind of it's an old model of website with like we did it 15 years ago, so and we just add stuff, so it's a bit maybe confusing, and we have French and English, and people are all confused. But you just send me an email or write on my Facebook, and I'll going to help you for sure. So
Awesome. Well, from both Mike and I, Lisabeth, I really, really appreciate you coming on. And honestly, you did amazing. Like that was awesome,
thank you.
especially for your first podcast. So that was great. Thank you very much for coming on. For everybody, if you want to reach out to Michael on Facebook. If you want to reach out for the podcast on Instagram, it would be Reptile Rejects. If you're listening to us on live, please subscribe, press the little notification bell, and all those funky things. And for everybody listening to us on the podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Apple, I don't know, Amazon Music, all that kind of crap. Again, subscribe. It all helps us. And for myself, Dominic Carbonneau on Facebook. And again, Lisabeth, I really, really appreciate you coming on. That was awesome. And if you don't mind, do not log off yet. We just want to make sure it uploads before. So to everybody, thank you very much. And we will